You're with Left, Right and Centre. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. The death of a young man in Jamtara in Jharkhand who apparently sent a message on WhatsApp about beef is raising serious questions. 22-year-old Minhaj Ansari died in a hospital he was taken to by the Jharkhand police less than a week after he was arrested for his reportedly objectionable WhatsApp message on beef. His family says he was tortured in custody. The police claims he was suffering from encephalitis. The officer in charge has now been suspended and a high-level inquiry ordered. A post-mortem report on Ansari's death is still awaited. A custodial death over a WhatsApp message. Is this beef policing again?
22-year-old Minhaj Ansari slumped lifelessly against the wall as the Jharkhand police told the media that Ansari had been arrested for reportedly circulating an objectionable message on beef on WhatsApp. Just the day later, he was first shifted to the local hospital, then to one in Dhanbad, and finally to the Ranchi hospital where he died on Sunday. While several people were rounded up, only Ansari was kept in lockup as the police claims he was an administrator of the WhatsApp group that sent the offending message, which had the potential to disturb communal harmony on the Shera and Muharram. Ansari was charged under Section 67 of the IT Act for publishing and transmitting obscene material in electronic form and under Section 295A of the IPC, a deliberate and malicious act intended to outrage religious feelings of any class by insulting its religion or religious beliefs, which carries a penalty of 3 to 5 years in jail and a fine. But Ansari's family alleges he was beaten and tortured by the police.
पूरा यहाँ से तो मारले बाती से मारे ये यहाँ तो गाड़ियाँ में चगवे यड़वा ले क्या चला गए डेक्ची थारी सब में हाथ भरे लाला थैली झोली इंसाफ हमको मिलना चाहिए जे मारले वकरा मने सजा हवे चाहिए.
And while the police have ordered an inquiry, they insist the 22-year-old died of encephalitis, but at the same time admit to lapses by a senior sub-inspector, Harish Pathak. The police officer has been suspended and a murder charge added to an FIR filed against him by Ansari's family.
WhatsApp group ने कुछ इस तरह के आपत्तिजनक सामग्री डाल दी है जिसको लेकर के आपस में यहाँ पे चर्चा हो रही थी और साथ ही साथ उस ग्रुप के एडमिन को भी गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया.
The post-mortem report, which is still awaited, could shed more light, but Ansari's death has left Jharkhand's Jamtara village tense and security has been stepped up. With Manish Kumar, Bhairavi Singh, NDTV.
Joining us on the discussion tonight from the BJP, we have Shaina NC. Joining us from the Congress is spokesperson Ajoy Kumar, formerly an MP from Jharkhand as well. Aarti Jerat, senior columnist, Karuna Nandi, Supreme Court advocate, and RSS ideologue Rakesh Sinha, Professor Rakesh Sinha, also with us. But Ajoy Kumar, let me begin with you. A man dies after being arrested and, according to his family at least, tortured for a message that he sent on WhatsApp. Your thoughts?
Jharkhand and especially the BJP ruled states, but across India, and Jharkhand is a very interesting example where the BJP and the RSS combined are trying to fan this whole hatred towards the particular community, whether it's the Dalit or the Muslims, because you look at what happened. This guy gets arrested, no other charge on it. Forwarding a WhatsApp message is what the information is. But by the way, before this, two people were hanged in the district of Lathiar. So if you look at the history of Jharkhand police in particular, but all of BJP ruled states, and Ankita, it is very strange. Mahesh Sharma goes to Dadri and a tricolor is put on Sisodia's body, and none of the cabinet ministers have time to visit the martyred soldiers, but they have time to visit a person who is accused in a lynching case. And only to fan communal, to create a communal issue there, and purely from a political perspective. So all across, whether it is Una incident, whether it is incident in Jammu, whether it's an incident in Haryana, whether it's an incident in Dadri, it is a systematic attempt by the BJP and the RSS to fan communal and target Dalits and Muslims. And this is what has happened. You hang two people. The government in Jharkhand gave a compensation which the family members refused to take, and they were hanged so cruelly, and they were only because they were trading in animals. They were not. It was nothing to do with cow slaughter. Same, and right now, a 22-year-old man gets caught by the police for what? For WhatsApp forwarding, and and he's in a police custody. And encephalitis, for God's sake, I mean, there is lots of stories you can make out on this, but the Jharkhand police and the Jharkhand government seems to get more interesting by minute. I mean, that he died by encephalitis, he was beaten up in the police station, he was sent by the police to Dhanbad, and then they say that it is encephalitis. So it's absolutely ridiculous, and it is the method of the whole mobilization by the BJP and RSS. The Prime Minister might say something. Mr. Mohan Bhagwat again raised the issue of cow protectors. So it is a strategy they're working on, targeting the Dalits and the Muslims.
All right, Ajay Kumar, you raised several questions there, and let's just take some of those across point by point to Shaina NC and Rakesh Sinha, who are with us. Shaina, first of all, several incidents being referred to over here. Of course, the case of the 4 Dalit youths in Una, the case of Mohammad Akhlaq in Dadri. In Haryana, several incidents, including very recently another one in which the police actually went around collecting samples of biryani to check whether there was beef in them or not. Another incident referred to in Jammu. The Congress is saying that this seems to be a pattern where, even the police now is involved in taking up or being particularly responsive when it comes to cases that involve beef. At the end of the day, this was a WhatsApp message that this young man was arrested for. Now, where do you stand on all of this?
Well, let me first say that it's most unfortunate that Minhaj Ansari, 22 years, lost his life, but there is a history to this as well. Yes, there was a propaganda on social media vis-a-vis, possessing and consuming cow meat. Having said that, it was also at the time of Dasera, 2 days before Dasera, and it could have catapulted into a law and order situation. Keeping this in mind, the Jharkhand government did choose to detain him without realizing that he is in an unfortunate medical condition and suffers from a chronic disease. Having said that, I think that we do need to understand that in 2005 there was a legislation passed in Jharkhand, and I'd like to also please say for your viewers' consumption that slaughter of cows and oxen, possession, consumption of meat banned, violation can face up to 10 years in jail and a 10,000 rupee fine, and the Prevention of Cow Slaughter Act 2005 was what he was booked under. Now, post this, the unfortunate situation is that his medical condition deteriorated. I would also like to say, without politicizing this issue at all, that should we be protecting the cow? Yes, there are fundamental rights and constitutional provisions to suggest in states that have banned cow slaughter. Jharkhand is one of them, going back to 2005. Unfortunately, during his detention, there were members of his family that also assaulted and stabbed a police constable who was recovering in ICU. I don't even want to go into that. It could have been the most unfortunate incident of one versus the other. But I think we as a society need to be far more mature. You keep talking about Dadri. Dadri was a law and order situation which the state government should have contained. What did they do in Jharkhand? Mr. Das, as the chief minister, tried to contain the situation by giving protection to this guy, because the amount of social media hype that took place, it was best that he would be under police detention only so that he's secure. Unfortunately, his medical condition was such that he had to live his last. Right. And I think it's most unfortunate. But the larger debate is today in a society, there are people, there is a legislation to protect the cow. There are people who take law and order into the hand. The Prime Minister himself has condemned all these so-called Gau Rakshaks. He has said these vigilants have no place in society. So let's put this into a reference to context debate rather than just alienating one particular incident.
All right. Yes, certainly we're going to talk about this absolutely in the light of several such incidents, and they do seem to be really creating a rather alarming trend. But just 2 clarifications, Shaina NC. According to the information we have from the police, number one, Minhaj Ansari wasn't actually booked under the Protection of Cows Act. He was booked. He was charged under Section 66 of the IT Act for publishing or transmitting obscene material in electronic form, and under section 295A of the IPC, which is deliberate and malicious act intended to outrage religious feelings. Karuna Nandi, I want you to come in on the legal aspect of this. The police says the message was objectionable. It may have caused...
Quick point.
Yes, certainly.
Just a very quick point. I said that Jharkhand as a state has a provision under this act of 2005.
Yes, indeed.
I said, why did the police detain him? To prevent a law and order situation.
Right.
We talked about Dadri and what happened there.
Yes.
There you had the state government just put its hands
I'm just
up.
clarifying,
Here, Mr.
Shaina. I
Das,
take your
as the
point.
Chief
I'm just
Minister
clarifying
said,
that he wasn't...
So that it does not catapult.
That he
so
wasn't...
that it does not
All right.
catapult, we should keep him within police custody so this situation doesn't escalate
All right.
before the
All
Sena.
right. Karuna Nandi, how justified was this arrest legally?
If Shaina NC's statement is the official statement of the government, then let us be clear that there are huge leaps there, and there is a case there that seems entirely unsustainable. Firstly, it was said that the person was booked, there were statements about the act prohibiting cow slaughter and possession. And we are talking about law and order, and we are talking about enforcing a law that was not applicable here. So let's set that aside, quite apart from the fact that, let's be clear, that the Bombay High Court has said very clearly that the possession provision, the criminalizing possession provision is problematic. Second, we cannot loosely say that WhatsApp messages are violating public order potentially because there are 2 days before the Shera. A constitution bench of the Supreme Court in Ramji Lal Modi says extremely clearly that the intention must be to disrupt public, to insult, etc., must be malicious, must be deliberate, must be calculated. Reckless messages or negligent messages do not suffice. Then we are told that actually he was kept in custody, where he later died, because he was being protected. This is the next thing that was said. That, I'm afraid, is not lawful by any means.
Right.
We then find that suddenly this gentleman has seemed to have developed encephalitis and died in custody.
Yes.
There are so many more questions here than there are answers. It is not clear at all that any high-level committee that is set up by a state government and it would be adequate to the task.
Right.
What is at the very least required is a CBI inquiry into this matter. And because why do I say that the state level may not be up to the task? Well, it does seem to me that, you know, if even the national level spokespeople are citing cow slaughter laws that are not applicable here, that even the police itself are saying are not applicable here, when you have the Jharkhand Chief Minister saying that, oh, you know, the Sangh Parivar is on the same page regarding the protection of the cow.
Right.
And he is on record saying also that that these smugglers are the ones creating the violence.
Okay. We take your
point. It's not at all clear to me that it would be fair.
All right.
The inquiry.
All right. Now, Rakesh Sinha, has beef really become such a sensitive topic in this country that even a WhatsApp message can land you in jail?
The police lapse on the part of the police. So not be treated as the debate between the BJP and Congress and supporter of the cow slaughter.
But are you? Very respectfully, sir, are you saying then that there has been a lapse on the part of the police? Did they overreact?
Without proper inquiry, I can't say. But as the report is reaching, and just there is a high-level inquiry committee has been set up. Secondly, if there is a custodial death, we should have a consensus. In a liberal democracy, there is no place for custodial torture, custodial death, whosoever may be.
Yes.
When a Maoist is arrested, there should not, the liberal democracy says, our constitution says, there should not be torture and no scope for the custodial death. If such thing happen, the policeman, the SI has been suspended, this government is taking action. My point is that since Ansari died, so the debate shifts to other direction. Had he been alive, the debate would have been different. Was he arrested according to IT law? Had he not been arrested, now there would have been communal riots. who would have been responsible? This was the duty of. Suppose I circulate some material. I am surprised. Ms. Nandi is saying that this was unlawful
Let
arrest.
us be clear
There
must
Ms.
be a
Nandi, let me Ms. Nandi, let me make it clear. I am not. I'm
just asking you, sir, what is that connection? I'm just asking you.
No, I'm just saying that. As far report is concerned, he was arrested on the IT law because he was circulating a material which it is not necessary it would have been. So, police has detained him. He died. Now it is a post-mortem report will say whether it is a custodial death or due to his own illness. Secondly, despite that, I believe that even if someone is arrested, his medical should be done, and accordingly he should be treated. So I have serious objections. I have serious objections to Mr. Ajay Kumar. Hitler had one Goebbels and Congress had dozen of Goebbels. Every time he is coming and accusing RSS Mohan, have you heard Mohan Bhagwat's speech yesterday? What did he say? He said, we are committed to cow protection. Thousands and lakhs of people are sent to, have emotion to cow, but there are certain people who are taking law and order in their hands.
Yes.
They are not our people.
All right, we have to
we are against these people, and same the Prime Minister says. So the RSS as an organization said that a handful people, if they are taking law and order in their hands, and they are doing things for their own self. Yes. They are not the protectors of cow.
Yes.
But don't act as a Goebbels.
All right. Now, Ajay Kumar, let me just cite for our viewers what Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, had said. Essentially, that the cow is protected by law, and cow protectors who operate within the law perform an important service. So, was the police here then performing an important service? Ajay Kumar.
See, Ankita, let me be very clear to Mr. Rakesh Sinha. However, pious they pretend the intentions are, when it gets transmitted on the ground, it is actually monstrous. You see what happened? They hanged 2 people in Latehar district. They were the BJP supporters. They were
Ajay Kumar, can you prove that ideology has you accuse the administration? Why are you accusing RSS?
Sir.
Every time you are Rahul Gandhi is obsessed with RSS, and every spokesperson of the Congress is obsessed with the RSS. RSS is the protector of the nation. RSS is the protector of civil society.
Can I complete my, Mr. Rakesh Sinha?
You are propagating, you are not completing, you don't have a logic.
Keep shouting.
Go by logic and facts.
We will not move forward if you will shout on a TV channel.
I'm not shouting. I said so just go by the logic and facts.
Make your point.
One second, can I complete?
Yes, go ahead.
My question is, why is there this stupendous increase of attack on Dalits and minorities? Why is there this stupendous attack by government? The Haryana government is checking the food.
Kumarji,
that is a BJP and is led by an RSS.
If you want to debate on attack on the Dalits,
can I complete, Mr. Sinha? Mr. Sinha, I would request you that we cannot have a debate if you keep interfering.
You are not debating, sir.
I am giving you actual facts. The Haryana Chief Minister sends the police. One sec. The Haryana Chief Minister sends the police to check the food. The BSF is checking instead of infiltration in West Bengal and Bangladesh.
Okay, we're going now. We are
not debating this issue.
Okay, Ajay Kumar, please keep to the point of this debate, and I'm just going to bring in Aarti Jairat at this point as well. And I think really where it was brought up as well, the other so-called custodial death that we have heard of in the last week or so. We saw the Culture Minister, Mr. Mahesh Sharma, visit the family of Ravi, who died apparently of kidney and respiratory failure while he was in custody for the death of Mohammad Akhlaq in Dadri. We saw the body draped in the tricolour as well. Another point raised by the Congress spokesperson today, the state gave compensation. Will we see similar scenes here as well? Will the minister visit?
Well, I doubt it very much. And the only good thing I'll say is that at least they have suspended the sub-inspector and they have ordered an inquiry. Now, I hope that it's an impartial inquiry, and if not, and if the inquiry seems to be a bit dodgy, then I hope, as Karuna Nandi said, that the case is handed over to the CBI for a proper and thorough inquiry. The point is, Ankita, we're really straying, going in all directions here. It's not a question of RSS versus Congress or anything. The point is that there is an atmosphere in this country, which has been created maybe by some miscreants, maybe by the RSS, maybe by self-appointed Gaurakshaks, but they have created an atmosphere. And people are overreacting and over-responding to this atmosphere. No. And I think that, we need to tone this down. when Mohan Bhagwat talked about cow protection, he was talking about protecting the cow. That doesn't mean that people can go around arresting somebody or killing somebody or hounding them or whatever.
I see both Professor Sinha and Shaina yes, disagreeing. Yes, Professor Sinha,
I disagree, Aarti Jairat, on this point that this is a kind of atmosphere created. You know, in more than 24 states, there is a law for cow protection. Right. I don't understand why some people have much sympathy for those who want to eat beef in the states where cow slaughter is banned. I don't understand.
But this man was not eating beef, nor had he killed a cow. He didn't have a carcass. It was just a cartoon sent on WhatsApp. I mean, you're completely digressing from the issue and you're completely diverting
Let me complete. I categorically condemn the custodial death. If it happened custodial death, it should be condemned. In liberal democracy, there is no place.
We're talking about the first step, which is the arrest.
There are more than 90 custodial deaths reported in 3 states.
We're talking about the first step, which is the arrest.
This is the lapse on the part of the police. If this is the lapse on the part of the police, and don't compare with the Akhlaq case in this case.
Ajay Kumar, neither of you can be heard. Very respectfully, the postmortem report isn't out yet. We don't know the cause of death, and therefore to call it...
come in?
Yes, Shaina, I am coming to you. All I'm saying is at this point, we don't know what the cause of death was. We're actually debating why the arrest took place. So, Shaina, yes, go ahead.
No, I just want to respond to what Aarti Jairat said. She said, this atmosphere in this country. Now, who is creating a kind of situation where we will deliberate on every single incident? It is obviously the opposition's insecurity, because the Prime Minister has made it amply clear. He has made it clear not once, twice, where he has said that yes, we do believe in cow protection, but those who choose to be these so-called Gaurakshaks and who are running their shops need to be condemned in totality, and we will not spare them. So much for vigilantism, where we as the leader of the country has absolutely rejected a thought process where you have certain kind of miscreants who are only playing to the gallery. Now, coming to Jharkhand, there was a law and order situation, and that is the reason why Ansari was detained. Now, if you do not take precautionary measures, also that situation can inflame into some kind of a communal scenario.
Was the fear
you
of
have to give
communal
that
violence
prerogative
so
to the
immediate
state government.
that a young man...
And I want to make one more statement for Mr. Dr. Mohan Bhagwat's statement, I think, says it all. Should we be apologetic about protecting the cow? Clearly not. Is there a constitutional provision? Yes, there is. And at the same time, do we need to do away with these so-called thekedars of our so-called Samaj? Absolutely we should. So I don't think you can have a more clear picture coming from the government and from the RSS and from the leader and from the state government. So, let's... not treat incidents
Ankita,
in
the fact is
isolation.
that,
Ankita, go ahead, Ajay.
Ankita, the fact is that there has been a stupendous increase of such acts. The fact is that the government, if it's a BJP government in Jharkhand or Haryana, have supported such kind of groups. The fact is that when there is a communal issue, you don't only arrest one person. I've been a police officer too. You arrest a group of people to ensure, you don't pick up one guy and say, you've solved the communal issue. The fact is that a cabinet minister goes to a person who is accused of lynching and he's wrapped in tricolour, and that is and then they say that we are not supporting. This is the issue. A guy who is accused for lynching is wrapped in tricolour, and then the BJP says that they are insulting the nation and they are putting people under threat. And the fact is that the Dalits got flogged in Una. The fact is that people are getting killed.
If at all, you seem to be on a witch hunt, not us. This was to protect a young man's life who could be in danger.
He's deleting Haryana, he's deleting... This is the case of law and order, this is the case of the police action, this is the case of police action. In fact, we were not required in this debate. Ajay Kumarji, we are not required in this debate.
Gentlemen, we'll have to follow all to this.
All of them.
Was the fear, I think the question that needs to be asked over here in this specific case, since we keep coming back, was the fear of communal violence so immediate that a 22-year-old young man had to be put in lockup after a WhatsApp message? Will the family's allegations of torture be looked into now? And why do mere rumors or even an a WhatsApp message about beef provoke such extreme responses? Those are questions for which we seem to have found no satisfactory answers today, but we hope to do so perhaps in the days to come. I'd like to thank my panelists for joining us on this discussion tonight. Thanks for watching.